At a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing last week, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse questioned FBI Director Christopher Wray about the supplemental background investigation of now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The Rhode Island senator expressed frustration with the FBI director over the ongoing matter. Senator Whitehouse also questioned Director Wray to discover if, quote, the FBI took direction from the White House as to whom the FBI would question and even what questions the FBI could ask. Wray confirmed this information, but said it was consistent with a long-standing process dating back to the Bush administration.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Cornyn. Get well. Senator Whitehouse.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director Wray. As you know, we are now entering the fourth year of a frustrating saga that began with an August 2019 letter from me and Senator Coons regarding the Kavanaugh supplemental background investigation, and I'd like to try to get that matter wrapped up. First, is it true that after Kavanaugh-related tips were separated from regular tip line traffic, they were forwarded to White House counsel without investigation?
I apologize that in advance that it's been frustrating for you. We've tried to be clear about our process.
I'll be less frustrated if you just answer the question.
So when it comes to the tip line, we wanted to make sure that the White House had all the information we have. So when the hundreds of calls started coming in, we gathered those up, reviewed them, and provided them to the White House.
Without investigation?
We reviewed them and then provided them to
You reviewed them for purposes of separating from tip line traffic, but did not further investigate the ones that related to Kavanaugh, correct?
Correct.
Is it also true that in that supplemental BI, the FBI took direction from the White House as to whom the FBI would question and even what questions the FBI could ask?
So it is true that, consistent with the long-standing process that we have had going all the way back to at least the Bush administration, the Obama administration, Trump administration, and continue to follow currently under the Biden administration, that in a limited supplemental BI, we take direction from the requesting entity, which in this case was the White House, as to what follow-up they want.
So
and that's the direction we followed. That's the direction we've consistently followed throughout the decades, frankly. You asked specifically about who and what, like who we...
I said, is it true?
It is true as to the who, to the who. I'm not sure, as I sit here, whether it's also true as to the what questions, but it is true as to the who we interviewed.
Okay. Well, we'll pursue further the what questions. Here's what I would like to do at this point. Oh, by the way, is it true that even today we have not been provided by the FBI its written tip line procedures?
Senator, I know that we have provided a lot of information to the committee and to you. I would have to check on that specific item. I know there is some information that you have requested that is not our call to provide. That has to do with interaction and communication with the White House.
But the FBI's written tip line procedures would seem to be information that you could provide and that probably is in fact amenable to FOIA, but has not yet been provided.
Again, I'm not aware of anything related to that, but I'll happy to look into where that stands and we'll follow back up with you.
Well, here's what I'd like to do to try to bring this to conclusion. First, there's an April 19th letter from Chairman Durbin, Senator Coons, and myself. Have you received that letter?
I believe we have, yes.
Okay. And then there's another July 27th letter from Chair Durbin, Appropriations Chairman Leahy, Senator Coons, and myself. Have you received that also?
Yes.
I would ask you to take the questions in both of those letters, which have not been answered, and treat them as a series of questions for the record from me in this hearing so that I can get them answered. Would you do that?
I would be happy to respond to the letters. I will say on the first of the two letters that you mentioned, the April one, if it's the letter that I'm recalling, unlike the most recent one that you mentioned, I think the other one goes not just to us, but also, I think, to White House counsel and the Attorney General.
Yeah, it does.
So
I wanted to make
that's
sure
not
that we're-
entirely That one's not entirely within our control, but we will do everything we can to make sure that you get answers to all the questions that we can provide answers to.
Okay, that'll work. And I also sent you a letter dated July 28th that consists of our overview of what transpired in that supplemental background investigation. And what I would like to do is to ask you to respond to these QFRs, as I mentioned, and take a look at that July 28th letter. It is my intention to use that July 28th letter as the basis for a report to the chairman and to the rest of the committee on what our oversight work has determined. Okay? So you now have the QFRs from the April letter, the QFRs from the July 27th letter, and the sort of, call it a draft, whatever, or you want it, the proposed, our findings to date from the July 28th letter. And what I would like to do is to make sure that whatever response that the FBI wants to provide to that, if you have factual corrections you'd like to make, now's your time to make them. If you think that any of the information is subject to a privilege of any kind, now is your time to assert it. Do you think it is reasonable to ask that that review of the July 28th letter and the answers to the QFRs from the April and July letters be provided by, say, a month from today?
That sounds reasonable to me. Let me check with our people, and if that's not going to be, for some reason that I'm not aware of, doable, we'll be sure to let you know.
Okay, there's a point at which this simply has to come to an end. This has been years and years of unanswered questions. And so please do your best, but it is my intention in a reasonably short period of time after this 1 month period has expired to proceed and not to allow more years of delay to go with this. This is like last call at the factual correction saloon with respect to the Kavanaugh supplemental BI. And if we can get that sorted out between us in the next 30 days so that we can get a report that does not have to quarrel with the FBI, that would be great. But at some point, I've just got to proceed, and it is my intention to proceed within the time frame that we have described. Fair enough?
Understood.
Thank you.